What's up everyone, and welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing awesome today. Be sure to subscribe for more Reddit content if you haven't already, and let's get into today's stories. Leaving my boyfriend at the grocery store after he acted like a complete child. So my boyfriend, 28, and I, 23 female, went grocery shopping together last night. I hate grocery shopping with him because he always treats it like a game, grabbing random crap we don't need and making jokes about the boring things I put on the list, like it's some kind of personal attack. I wasn't in the mood for his nonsense, but I figured I'd try to stay chill. Spoiler, it didn't work. We're halfway through the store and he's already tossed in a bunch of overpriced snacks, fancy meats, and a random kitchen gadget we absolutely do not need. I remind him nicely that we're sticking to the budget this month because I just paid a huge bill, and he completely flipped. He started making these snide comments like, "Oh sorry, I didn't realize you were my financial manager, and maybe I should just Venmo you for every chip I eat." I told him to stop, but he just kept going, louder, like he wanted people to hear. "Why don't you write me a little shopping allowance, huh? Would that make you feel better?" People were definitely staring at this point, and I was mortified. I told him I was serious, we needed to stick to the essentials, and he rolled his eyes and said, "You're so uptight, no wonder people think you're controlling." That was it for me. I told him I wasn't doing this and started walking toward the car. He followed me halfway, still yelling, "Are you seriously leaving? Wow, real mature." But then turned back to the store, probably to pout or buy more unnecessary crap. I sat in the car for like 10 minutes texting him to stop being dramatic and let's just finish the shopping and go home. He didn't reply, so I left. He had his phone, his wallet, and plenty of options for getting home. When he got back later, he was pissed. He said I humiliated him by abandoning him, that I overreacted and that I'm always trying to control him. But honestly, I don't think I overreacted at all. He acted like a complete child, picked a public fight over nothing, and made me feel like crap for trying to keep us on track financially. Now he's sulking and making me feel guilty, but I don't think I did anything wrong. Am I the asshole? Okay, OP, you should definitely just break up with this guy. He sounds like an absolute man-child. Now normally, when it comes to posts like this regarding relationships, I tend to err on the side of it's good to be patient and try to work things out the best you can, before resorting to just ending the relationship. Because so many commenters in these subreddits love to just tell people to break up with your partner immediately at any sign of any sort of trouble at all. Which when people say that, it usually kind of comes across as them probably not having much, if any, relationship experience at all, and just really aren't aware that a good relationship takes a lot of work, and there will be problems no matter what, and a good relationship is cultivated by people working through stuff. However, with that said, this is one of those cases where I'm gonna be that guy and just say you should probably break up with them. Just hearing about his behavior on a simple shopping trip is plenty of enough evidence for me to confidently think that it's just not worth it. It's honestly hilarious that an adult would even act like this. But what's not hilarious is what the future is going to be like if you stay with this guy. You shouldn't even need people on Reddit to tell you this, you should know it for yourself. He's a toddler in a man's body. Life is way too short to be spending it with people like that. Skipping my brother's wedding because his fiancé excluded my wife from the guest list. My brother James is getting married next month, and what should have been a joyous family event has turned into a nightmare. The issue? His fiancée, Emily, didn't invite my wife Lisa to the wedding. Emily and Lisa have never been close, but I wouldn't call them enemies either. However, Emily has always seemed a bit cold towards Lisa. The tipping point was last year during a family vacation. Lisa, who's naturally outgoing and bubbly, struck up conversations with everyone, including strangers at the resort. Emily, who's quieter and more reserved, seemed annoyed by this. After the trip, she told James that Lisa was attention-seeking and accused her of making the vacation all about herself. I didn't think much of it at the time, chalking it up to personality differences. Fast forward to now, and Emily has made it clear she doesn't want Lisa at her wedding. When I confronted James about it, he admitted it was Emily's decision and said he didn't want to push back because it's her day. He added that I should respect Emily's wishes and come to the wedding alone, for the sake of family harmony. I was stunned. Lisa and I have been married for 5 years. She's part of this family. Excluding her feels like a slap in the face, not just to her but to me as well. When I told James I wouldn't attend without Lisa, he accused me of being dramatic and trying to punish him for something out of his control. He said I was letting Lisa's hurt feelings ruin his wedding day. Our parents are divided. My dad says I'm right to stand by my wife, and that James and Emily are being unreasonable. My mom, on the other hand, thinks I should just keep the peace and attend the wedding because it's not worth destroying your relationship with your brother over one day. Lisa has been deeply hurt by the whole ordeal. She feels disrespected and excluded, and told me she would never have done something like this if the roles were reversed. She's trying to be supportive of whatever decision I make, but I can tell she'd be devastated if I went to the wedding without her. It's put a strain on our marriage because she feels like I'm not standing up for her enough. At the same time, James is my only sibling, and I've always thought we were close. I know skipping his wedding will hurt him, and it could permanently damage our relationship. Part of me wonders if I should just swallow my pride and go for his sake. But another part of me feels like this isn't just about one day, it's about standing up for what's right. I don't want to ruin my brother's wedding, but I also don't want to betray my wife or compromise my values. If the roles were reversed, James and Emily would be furious. Lisa is family, and Emily's decision to exclude her is creating the problem. I'm not the one causing the rift by standing by my wife, I'm just refusing to enable it. It's not just Emily's day, it's James's too, and he's choosing to let her exclude Lisa. Standing by my wife isn't just about this wedding, it's about showing James what it means to prioritize your spouse. If he can't see that, it's on him. Yeah, at the end of the day, what really matters is staying true to your own values, like OP said, and prioritizing what's important. And in this case, OP's wife is what's important here. If OP's brother is going to hold that against him to the point of damaging their relationship, then it is what it is. He should understand OP's position as a soon-to-be husband himself, but if not, then I guess there's just not much you can do about it. So I think it's a good thing that OP feels it's obviously the right thing to not go to the wedding for his wife's sake. And OP did even mention that if the roles were reversed, they would be furious too. So if they really aren't even trying to put themselves in OP's shoes and consider his perspective, then they're just being intentionally obstinate. OP says that his brother would be hurt if he didn't go, but I would argue that OP and his wife are the ones that are actually being hurt here, and it's unfair to put them in this position. Employee tries to kick me off a mobility cart. I'm an 18-year-old female, but sometimes people think I'm 15 or 16 due to my baby face and severe acne. I have POTS, or postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, along with permanent nerve damage in my legs. This leads me to using mobility carts in stores like Walmart if I can find them. See where this is going? I go grocery shopping with my dad. He helps me with things that I might not be able to get myself, especially if I can't find a mobility cart. So we walk into Walmart and I see 3 mobility carts lined up against the wall. My dad tells me that he's going to go to the bathroom, so I get in a cart and I wait by the shelves nearest to the entrance. An employee asks me if I'm waiting for anyone, and I tell her that I'm waiting for my dad. I'm not sure if she saw us walk in or not. It also didn't click for me that she may be questioning about why I'm on the cart. My dad comes out of the bathroom and meets up with me, and off we go. Before I get very far, the employee yells at me, "Ma'am, that cart is for handicapped people only." I was taken aback, so I stutter and say, I know, I am handicapped. She replies, "You walked in here, didn't you? You can walk around the store." Getting more irritated, I tell her that the details of my disabilities are none of her business, but I can assure her I am. She walks over to me, turns off the cart, and tries to yank me out of it. My dad steps in and gets in between me and her, and he says, "What the f*** do you think you're doing? My daughter said that she's disabled. Are you really going to interrogate everyone who grabs this cart about their health?" She gets red in the face and says, "She's too young to be disabled, she's just being lazy." At this point, I thought my dad was going to start throwing hands with this woman. We obviously attracted a crowd and security walks over. My dad and I explain the situation, and to her credit, she says exactly what happened. The security guard asks if I have proof of disability, and I get up to walk with my legs buckling. That's good enough proof for him, and he walks off. She says, "Well, why didn't you do that in the first place?" I tell her because I don't need to prove anything to a random stranger with no authority. She seems slightly embarrassed and mumbles something under her breath, then she goes back to where she was standing. My dad and I just go on with our shopping. Some people. Edit to add, I did call the corporate number and reported her. I didn't have her name, but I did have the times in her description. I'm not sure if anything will come of this or not. Update. I filed a police report and contacted the store manager. The officer I talked to said that he'd see what he can do, and the store manager said that he'd get to the bottom of it and there will be consequences. Hopefully there actually are, and I'm not sure the officer took my report seriously. There does seem to be some action being taken though. You don't want to pay? I'll hold your laundry hostage. I, 44 male at the time, am a small business owner. I have a pickup and delivery laundry service in a big city. My bread and butter is commercial business, small salons, bars, restaurants. People like us because we don't require a lengthy contract. It's a sort of call us if you want to situation, and if you don't like us, don't call. It works both ways. We were pretty new to the business at the time, and we were super excited to get a Michelin 2-star restaurant's tablecloths and napkins. We didn't like the jerk finance guy Michael, who always tried to negotiate us down, but we got along great with Anna. She was the logistics, fixer, and genius problem solver for the restaurant. Any high-end business should have someone like her on staff. We jumped through the hoops like we'd never jumped through the hoops before, even rented more space to handle their business. At $3,000 a month, they were our biggest customer. Thing is, Michael already negotiated an amazing deal with us from the start, but he was in the nasty habit of trying to negotiate after the fact. Every time they owed us money, he would try to get us to take less. We told Anna this was not okay over and over again. Michael was an owner, but he was just a money guy. The head chef and other owners actually cared about the business. Well, the back and forth went on for months. They always insisted on a discount. We never gave in because we were already in deep discount territory with these people. And come on, at $400 a plate, you can afford $2 per tablecloth or whatever we charge them. Michael eventually started really putting the screws to us and was withholding about $1,700, money we really needed, while he tried to squeeze us to accept less. I think he thought we were probably living on the edge like most small business owners, but we were really just tired, sick and tired more than anything, and we checked our balance of f***s and there were none left to give. I came up with a plan and got my partner to agree. We put the plan in motion. We waited until the weekend came. We had almost all of these people's laundry. I think you can see where this is going. I called Anna and I told her that Michael could stuff it. We have all your laundry. It's all pressed and ready. It's Monday. You're planning to open again on Tuesday. When you pay us in full for this order and everything that you owe us for previous orders in cash, you'll get your laundry back. Not before. I also let her know that once we got paid, our business relationship would be over. This was disastrous for us financially, but we weren't going to starve to death. She understood, and she was actually on our side. She loved our service. She let all the owners know that we were not messing around. She called us back and we agreed on a time. I went to the restaurant, left my partner in the laundry in the van. I dealt with all sorts of criminals and scammers in the neighborhoods where we delivered. I knew how to treat deadbeats. Michael wasn't there. The chef, who was the other owner, was there, and only because it was him and not Michael did I accept a business check instead of cash. We were able to cash it with no problem. I called my partner to bring in the laundry. Anna called me later and proposed that we keep working with them and we would never have to speak to Michael again. Honestly, it was such a weight off my shoulders to no longer deal with them, I said no way. Don't try to stiff a small business that stands between you and setting tables for $20,000 worth of seatings in your fancy restaurant when you have no plan B. I have no regrets. And that's going to be it for today, friends. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. And as always, if you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more Reddit shenanigans. So take care, and I'll see you next time.